Welcome to Pilates for Runners. This is a 10-minute total session focusing on glutes and hips. There are no squat type movements if they are trying to avoid that type of movement pattern, but there is quite a lot of single leg work, which means there's going to be a good amount of core as well. When you're ready, starting standing, feet hip distance apart, lifting up through the crown of the head and then dropping the shoulders back and down. From there, taking a nice big breath in through the nose, pausing at the top, pulling in as tight as you can with those lower abs, and then releasing slowly. And again, big breath in. Pulling in just halfway, and then releasing. Finally, big breath in. Just finding that light connection a third of the way so we can hold on to it as we release the breath. And then from there, hands are going to come to the hip bones. Finding the fingertips on the hip bones, we're going to keep them as level as possible as we lift one knee up, come back and bring the other one up. So nice and simple to start, just finding your balance side to side. That core connection is going to help us stay nice and lifted, which in turn is going to stop us sinking into that hip and pushing it out. So we lift up through the crown. We can really engage through the glutes and the hip stabilizers on each side and hopefully make balancing a little bit easier. That's why when we run, if you can think about lifting up, all the core muscles are going to engage much more effectively. Not only do we keep nice and open across the chest, but it's going to make that glute engagement, that hip stability much better, much more effective when we run. So if you think of nothing else, think about lifting tall through the crown of the head, and that will do a multitude of things down the body. When you're ready, if the balance is good, start to bring the opposite arm up over the head and then down. Lift. And this is a good one to do in front of the mirror, because if you did have your fingers on your hip bones, you can see very easily if you're hitching or dropping one side, all right? Just to be aware of it, so then when you're doing the work, you can focus on not allowing that to happen. Good. We can do a couple more to each side. Lift. On the next one, we're going to pause and hold. So we're going to bring the leg up, pause and hold there. Now, for balance, you might want to come out here, or you can take the arms back if you are comfortable with them not out. We're going to extend this leg. So we want to keep the knee up nice and high. We're going to extend it out, and then we're going to sweep it all the way around and behind, bending at the knee to bring the heel back, and then we're going to lever back up and in front. So we extend, so we're working to the quads and hip flexors, getting the leg as straight as possible. The leg's going to go out, around, bend at the knee, and then come back in. So there's that challenge with your balance as we move the leg all the way around behind, and then come back. Extend, all the way around. So it's a little bit of hip mobility, a little bit of balance, whoop. We've got 3 more after this one. Good, extend, really work into those quads and hip flexors all the way around behind. Bend at the knee and then come back. 2. Bend at the knee, whoop, come back. Last ones. All the way around and behind, bend at the knee, come back. This time I'm going to give you options again. Your first option is to leave the knee bent, hinge forward, take the leg up behind, hinge back. Or alternatively, you can extend the leg behind, and then when you hinge, it's a little bit more stable. You're not having to move quite as far if you need something a bit easier. And again, arms can be out or on your hips. Good. Remember, you want a nice even weight through the foot. You don't want to just be crushing the toes into the floor, because you'll get a lot of work in the quads, in the calves then. So make sure there's a good amount of weight through the heel. Good. For 4, 3. I can tell this is my weaker side. 2. And 1. Good, come back, place it down. We're going to do the same on the other side. So shake it off, Lifting up tall through the crown of the head, taking the weight onto the other leg, making sure we're nice and still. We're going to bring the knee up, extend the leg out in front. It goes all the way around to the side, behind, bend at the knee, and then draw it back. Extend, around to the side, all the way, bend at the knee and back. Remember, arms can be out. We're trying to keep that leg nice and straight, so we're working to the quads and hip flexors. And then we bring it forwards. Good. Extend, around and behind, bend into the knee, and then back. So trying to move with control the whole time. So this stabilizing side, we've got hip, knee and ankle in alignment. Good. We've got 4 more from here. Bend at the knee. I think this last 2. It's not good when I can't even count down from 4, is it? Last ones. All the way around, bend and in. From here, arms come out if you need the help with balance just to start, and then we sweep back, come forward. And you've got the option, remember, of extending the leg behind here and doing a much more contained, I suppose, movement, so it's a little bit easier for your balance. Otherwise, the leg comes up, comes all the way in front, all the way up behind. And down, good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All the way back, all the way forward. Come down, shake it off. Taking the weight back onto that first leg. Soft in the knee, tall through the spine. Lower abs pull in. We're going to tap the foot in front of the body, and then we're going to tap it behind. In front, and then behind. And we're just going to focus here on keeping the body as still as possible. So we're not counterbalancing as we move the leg. We're trying to keep that balancing leg or stabilizing leg in a nice alignment. Hip, knee and ankle. Again, your option is to be here. And then if you can, take the foot off the floor and don't let it touch. Good. For 5, 4, 3, hip bones are still level. Lower abs are still pulling in gently, and we're open across the chest. Last ones. And then we're going to pause with the leg beside us. Rotate the toes and knees inwards, and then we're going to lift and lower to the side. Again, trying to keep the body really still here. Arms out if you need it. You're better off having the arms out here than falling around all over the place. Try and keep that balance on the leg. There's no harm in using the arms to start, to build that core connection, or that core strength, and that stability down through the leg. Good. Keeping the toes and knees downwards. For 5, 4, 3, 2, leave it up on the 1, hold, work into those lovely hips and hip muscles, down into the abductors on the outside. 5, keep it up, don't let it drop. And 1, come down, shake it off. Same on the other side, so tall spine, shift the weight, soft knee, lower abs engaged. Tap in front, tap behind. So find your balance on this side first, and then make it harder if you need to. Then take the foot off the floor if you can. Good, hip bones level, body really still. So this is great practice when we're running because obviously the arms are moving, the legs are moving, and we want to keep as stable as possible on whichever leg we're landing on. Good. A few more if you can. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Finish with the leg beside and then rotate the toes and knees down towards the floor and then lift and lower. Again, keeping the body as still as you can. So trying not to counterbalance. We really want that lifting to come from the hip and the abductors, not the body counterbalancing to bring the leg up. Okay, check the nose, no, check the nose, check the toes and the knees are still facing downwards. Good, we've got 5 more from here. For 5, 4, 3, 2, so we can hold up on that last one. I know it's painful. 1, hold, 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 hold. Don't let it drop down. Keep it up, up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down, shake it off. Lovely. We're done.